DHCP server. The topic is a first is DHCP server. It is okay. So what is this DHCP server? DHCP server assign IP address to the clients automatically. You can say assign or configure. You can say assign or configure IP address to the clients automatically. Okay, that is what DHCP server. What is meant by DHCP? It's a protocol, dynamic host configuration protocol. The port numbers use 67, 68. So simple. What is a DHCP server? DHCP server assign or configure IP addresses to the client devices. Okay. For example, I have a system, computer is there. Okay. I got an IP address from the DHCP server. Even my laptop got an IP address from DHCP server. You can see DHCP enable yes, and this is my DHCP server. This is the IP address of my laptop. Okay. The thing is here. Uh, First of all, how to configure IP address? There's a different ways are there. So one is like a GUI mod. I will show you in a Windows. Okay. Go to the control panel. Go to network and sharing center. Change adapter settings. You can see the adapter. Okay. This is my adapter. It is already has an IP address, which is I got it from the DHCP server. This is IP address is assigned from this DHCP server automatically. Now, how it is this? From the client side, the adapter settings must be like this. From client side, adapter settings must be like this. So I went to the properties, IPv4 properties, and I select obtain IP address automatically. Obtain DNS servers automatically. It means I am telling this to my adapter, get an IP address from DHCP server. So I'm telling to I'm just telling to my adapter, try to get an IP address from DHCP server. So what I've done, I right click, I double click on this adapter, go to the properties, IPv4 properties, then I select obtain IP address automatically. So then this adapter is try to get an IP address from the DHCP server. From DHCP server. Okay, I'm not changing anything. Okay, that's the point. Okay, somewhere I have given this settings. That's a manual. This is auto configuration. Then what is this manual? Okay, what is this manual? How to set an IP address manually? See, I am taking this adapter. So just for an example, I double click on the adapter, properties, IPv4, IPv4 properties. See, I configured an IP address manually. The second option, you see, the second option you select, it means you want to configure an IP address manually. Guys, if you configure IP address manually, so there is this IP address do not change itself even you connect to different network. Okay. So I configured an IP address here manually. It's not getting from anywhere, so I configured manually. This is a fixed IP address. It is a static IP address because I assigned manually. So you can see DHCP enabled no means the IP address configured manually. Also, you can see there is no DHCP server address here because IP address configured manually. So either you configured manually or you will get an IP address from DHCP server. Okay, understand guys? Configuring IP address.
Second detail once again.
Which one? Automatic or manual?
Manual.
Manual. So you can go to ncpa.cpl, which will take you directly to that adapter settings. No need to go to control panel, network and sharing center, change adapter settings. Simply directly ncpa.cpl, it take you to the adapters. I have an adapter, okay, because I should not touch this one because which is actually I'm getting internet from this one only. So I have another adapter, just virtual adapter, no problem. Whatever you do, it no problem. This is an adapter. So it is already configured manually. Now I went to some other place. I have some different network now. So what I have to do, I have to change my IP address again manually. So for example, I want to change my IP address manually. Same thing. So adapter properties, IPv4 properties. Okay. Select use following IP address and give some IP address based on your network. For example, my current network is 172.17.11.110. 172.17.11.1. Yeah, depends upon. I have some network idea that is I'm giving this kind of stuff. Okay. So it is I have to configure IP address, subnet mask. These two are compulsory. Guys, within the local network, within the LAN network, if you want to communicate, you need an IP address, of course, subnet mask. You don't require default gateway to communicate within the LAN network. But when you are communicating outside of your logical network, so you need a default gateway. With the default gateway only, you can able to communicate. It means either your router address or if you have any other default gateways, you can connect. Okay. So this is configuration. It depends upon your network, you can configure. Okay. Once you are configured, please check it once. Is it configured properly? So it is manually configured. If you have a device, for example, I have a system in the same network, so try to ping it, make sure that is working on that. Okay. This is manual configuration.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Automatic configuration. Suppose I don't want manual. I want to get an IP address from the DHCP server. Important one is your adapter is having a connectivity to any of DHCP server. Either it can be a router or it can be a DHCP service inside your system. Okay. Somewhere it has a connectivity is required to get an IP address from DHCP server. So I have this adapter. I go to properties, IPv4 properties. I am telling this adapter to get an IP address from DHCP server. Get an IP address from DHCP server. So it is try to find it. So it went to not responding. No problem. Close. Then check it. Do you get any IP address? DHCP enabled yes, but not as regular IP adapters. It's showing, it is not showing IP address. It is showing auto configure IP address. And where is this default gateway? Where is the DHCP server address? If this IP address, if I am getting from DHCP, it shows DHCP server address also. It not showing DHCP server address. Of course, DNS default gateway it is not showing, and not DHCP server address, no lease durations, and it is showing its automatic IP address. This is called error. This type of IP address is APIPA address. Okay. So what happened here? This adapter is not connected to any DHCP server or any DHCP server related services. It's not connected. And this adapter is failed to get an IP address from DHCP server. That's why I'm getting APIPA address. Automatic private IP address. What is APIPA? Automatic private IP address. It shows like this: 169.254 dot something dot something. When you see an IP address 169.254, it means, so very first reason is your system failed to get an IP address from DHCP server. Failed to get an IP address from DHCP server. Once it is failed to get an IP address from DHCP server, your system itself assign an IP address in 169.254 series. Okay, it assign itself an IP address from APIPA range. So that is called a APIPA. Okay, you see this one. Go to details. You got clear cut. See, you got DHCP enabled. You got IP address, subnet mask. If you see 172.16 and IP address, you see there is a DHCP server address. It means it's a correct IP address configuration. If you see this one, wrong IP address configured, means you got a APIPA address here. That is the main difference. Guys, understand APIPA? Smart.
Yes, sir.
So we'll go a little bit back. Okay. So I showed manual configuration. I showed automatic configuration. How, like, you want to get a DHCP, then what is the configuration in the client? You have to do it. You want to configure manually, how to configure in your client PC. So that is both I showed. Okay. Thing is, if I configure manually, is any thing is like I made given wrong IP address? Maybe the IP address is taken by someone in the network. If I am using single, no problem. I have good knowledge about networking, good idea about what IP address is already used. For that is no problem. But I have a 10, 20 computers, 30 computers, 50, 100 computers are there. Okay. I want to assign for 100 computers IP addresses manually. Become difficult, right? 5 computers you can assign. 10 computers you can assign. 100 computers you have to assign. It's become difficult. Second, you keep assigning IP address. People do mistakes. People who do mistakes. So, for example, I have to type an IP address like this. So, where it is. So, my IP address is, suppose I have to type 172.16.11.23. Some people type like this 172.168.11.23 instead of that value. See, small mistake, it's become different network. 170.16.11.23. Some people put like this 172.16.1.123. So they will do mistakes by typing mistake. some idea, missing idea, concept mistake by looking at a paper. So it is become difficult. There's a possibility of wrong IP address. Possibility of wrong IP address. Okay. So for example, this is a 10th system. I assigned this IP address. And some 50th system, 55th system. Assign same IP address. Because something I miss, I same IP address by mistake, without verification or miscommunication. So what happened? Assign two systems, same IP address. So what will happen? Conflict. It is a conflict. What is meant by conflict? Two system, two or more system having same IP address. So there is a possibility of wrong addresses conflicts with a manual IP address. Okay. Number of devices increases. It's difficult to assign an IP address one by one. Difficult to manage IP addresses also. One more is, you know, I know how to assign an IP address. So for my system, I assign IP address statically. And my work is completed today. Now I went to my home. So I have some work. Again, I open my laptop. Okay. Same IP, I cannot use it, right? Why? Because of in my home, I may have a different network. It may not have same IP address. In my home, I have different private IP. So there is different IP. Like that, there actually 192.168.1 dot series is there. Here it is 172.16 series. Okay. In some places 192.168.0 series. Okay. So it is different places, different types of network is there. If I fix the IP address manually means every time I have to change manually. I don't know the type. So again, I have to learn what network you are using. Okay. So manually configuration is you have to change IP address again manually. Okay. It won't change automatically. Otherwise, you have to change it to automatic. So here I use a manually there. Again, I have to reconfigure my adapter, get IP address from automatically. So again, burden, right? So again, I have to, why I'm not getting connected? Again, I have to go to adapter. Again, I have to change the settings. Okay. So that is one point. Yes, we have seen lot of people. Maybe in within your batch itself. Maybe in earlier. Now you know how to assign an IP address. Maybe in earlier you don't know how to assign an IP address, right? Not everyone knows how to assign IP address manually. Okay, it is difficult to know some for some people. Non-technical, even technical people also don't know how to assign IP address. Most of the people don't know. Okay, another one is for certain types of devices. Now we have lot of devices can able to connect it to network. You are using mobile phones, smart mobiles. We can connect it to Wi-Fi. You are getting internet, 4G net, Wi-Fi net. Okay. You are using smart TVs, smart LEDs, smart printers. These are all we can able to connect it to the network. We can communicate between them, right? So you have to configure manually to that. It's more difficult. Maybe you are a smart guy, you will try it, but for some people it is very difficult. Okay. Again, they have to learn how to go to the settings, how to do it like that. Okay. Every time they change, that's again they have to go for a change of setting. Again, that will lead sometimes to wrong IP address, conflicts kind of stuff. This is issues we are facing with manual configurations. Of course, manual IP address configuration is also an important where for configuring your routers, configuring servers. I have a server, I have to configure IP address manually only, not automatic because dynamic IP addresses keep changes. And I have to depends upon deep thing. Okay. So if DHCP fail, I don't get an IP address. If DHCP servers fail, I don't get an IP address. So for that purpose, for servers, okay, for servers, routers, the storage, network storage devices, printers, Okay, network printers, not Wi-Fi printers. It's network printers. Okay, I will configure manually because it stays in one place. It stays in one place. So I will configure IP address. I'm no need to move from this to this. Network changing is not there. And I have a pre-plan. These are IP addresses only for these systems. Okay. So I use manual configuration for certain type of devices like a servers, routers, kind of stuff. Okay. Inside your data set. And remaining devices will get an IP address from DHCP server. What is the advantage? I connected here, I got an IP address. I go to my home, I will get that related network IP address. Automatically IP address is changing. So I no need to configure. I know to learn how to assign an IP address first of all. Just connect it and utilizing it. Okay. And lesser wrong IP addresses, conflicts will be reduces. Conflicts, IP addresses will be reduces. Okay. So administrative burden will be reduces. If you have an organization, 100 computers are there. So simply go to system, change it to automatic mode. So obtain IP address automatically. They will get an IP address without wrong and without conflict of IP addresses. And you don't require to learn how to assign IP address. No need to teach your home like how to assign IP address, how to configure which network, which IP. Not required. For different devices, also, simply they will get an IP address. Once they're connected, they will get an IP address from DHCP server. So these are the advantages of using DHCP server. Okay. So guys, understand the difference between DHCP manual configuration and DHCP server configuration. Guys, understand the difference? Non-stacking, what happened? Only 2, 3 points. Okay, good. Someone said yes in the chat box. Guys, this DHCP server can be a Windows server, can be a Linux server, can be your router also. In your home, right, in small offices, the Wi-Fi router is act like a DHCP server. In your home or in a small office kind of stuff, they use the Wi-Fi router itself as a DHCP server. The client requests for an IP address to the DHCP server. Already I told client request to the server. So client will send a DHCP related request to the server. Server understand and give an IP address to the client. So it will configure an IP address like a server give IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, DNS server address, DHCP server address, and the loose relation to the systems. If any device manually configured, it won't get an IP address from DHCP server. Any device already manually configured, it won't get an IP address from DHCP server because of it's not a DHCP client. Okay. When you use obtain IP address automatically, your client will try to send a request to DHCP server. The DHCP server will assign IP address to your system. Okay. The process will go to that process. The process of assigning IP address to the clients is called a DHCP process, but we call it as DARA process. Discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. The client is getting an IP address, right? So, so DHCP server assign an IP address to the client. It's a DHCP process. What we call it as DARA process. Discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. Client send a discover packet to the server. Server give offer to the client. Client request for an IP address to the server. Server give an acknowledgement with a assigned IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, lease duration, kind of stuff. Okay. So DORA process, discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. Of course, we completed the time. That's why I'm finishing all the points. Okay. Everything is in the notes, guys. Please read once your session is completed, communications session is completed, either today evening or tomorrow morning. Just open once. Please read all the things so you will understand better. Okay. So here also I've written network adapter settings. Obtain automatically means you want to get an IP address from DHCP. Use following IP address means manual configuration. When you checking IP address, DHCP enabled S means you got an IP address from DHCP server. Check the DHCP server address also. If it is showing no here, the IP address is manually configured. Okay. Even in a router also, they will mention DHCP server, the ranges. So based on that, you will get an IP address from DHCP server. Okay. Of course, I explained IP address also, guys, automatic private IP address. Okay. The ranges. So I told what happened to the your adapter if you are getting IP address. Okay. So this is about your DHCP. I think Sir is waiting. Maybe he given a message or not. I don't know because the other batch is class is completed. So he will give some message in 5-10 minutes. So if in case Sir said join, so you can join there. Okay, guys, understand DHCP manual configuration, automatic configuration.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so possible next tomorrow we'll discuss one more thing that is called a DNS. Okay, and then we will going to discuss about something like Outlook. Okay, or Outlook also we will discuss. That is also an important. Outlook is there, cloud and other things also will one by one will discuss. If you have any doubts in your previous sessions, also note down one place and we'll discuss one doubt session also. Okay, for improvement, and also you can tell an answer. I will ask questions from tomorrow onwards. So read all your past things, including hardware, networking, service desk related for everyone. Okay. At least I will ask 3-4 questions from it. Okay. That's it for now, guys, for today. Tomorrow we'll meet you at 2:30 again.